Hi and welcome, I'm Max, and today we're gonna look at how you go from this picture to this picture in Davinci Resolve. I want to share my editing progress with you, and maybe it helps you get better too, maybe not, and if you have any suggestions, please feel free to share them with me. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So, I've done this edit a couple of times now, and I always fucked up my video, so this time I'm not gonna do all of it from scratch, but just walk you through the whole process of my edit that you can see here. First of all, you import your media. I have a couple of pictures, as you can see. You drag your picture like that onto the timeline. I have mine here, and once you've done that, you can go to the color transform page. Here you have basically all your clips down here, but I'm gonna disable that for now so that we have a bigger screen. Then you have all your transformations down here, and up here you have your nodes where you can transform each and every single node one by one, basically. So what it would look like if we started out would be we had just one of these nodes, and then what we would have to do first would be go to effects, type in color space transform, and slap a color space transform effect onto one node. We do this because Davinci has apparently some kind of special color space, I guess, and to be able to work in that properly, we need to do these transforms. Then if you click Option S on Mac or Alt S on Windows, I think it's Alt S, it's definitely Option S, you can get a new node, and then you can just go to the first node, click Command C and Command V, and copy paste. So you have two nodes with color transforms on it, and everything else that we're gonna do is going to be in between these two nodes. Now I'm just gonna delete everything of that because I have it on my other clip. This color transform here, where you can see I renamed it, and this one here. So if we just turn both of them on, you can see if I go to effects, I have my color space transform here. Input is basically these two sRGBs, and output color space is something Davinci, whatever. And then if you go to the end, there it is, and look at the effects again. This is the reverse, so you can just swap it and reverse it, which is pretty convenient. So if you did this, then copy pasted that to the second one and just click swap, you would arrive at that. And also for the second color space transform, we do some tone mapping where we set a maximum input and output number of nits. To be honest, I'm not really sure what this does, but I learned it like that from the tutorial that I watched, just like this as well. Okay, now that we're set up with this, we have our color transforms. After that, what I like to use, or what I like to do first, is go to the camera raw page. Just copy these settings. I also always copy them from my previous pictures. Then reset. It would look like this in the beginning. So that's basically our starting picture. And from here, I want to try to make it a little bit lighter and just look good overall, so that we have a good base, without having this histogram clip to one side. What clipping means is basically you have a really large spike at either the left or the right side of the histogram, and this is where you lose detail. So where there's no information and just one color in this area of the picture, I guess. I think this part here is also already clipping or losing detail because we have just this flat line up here. I'm not too sure if that is also considered clipping, whatever. But basically, just like to show you, if I turn the shadows down a lot, we would have a lot of totally pitch black parts of the image, and this would be reflected in these spikes that I generally don't want. That being said, oftentimes you can't avoid it that there is clipping somewhere, but I try to avoid it as much as possible. Okay, going back, this is the settings that I later found to be rather nice. I increased the color temperature a little bit. I also always increase the color boost directly, because to show you what this does is it already gives your picture a little bit of color to work with, so that it looks more lively right at the beginning. Anyway, apart from that, I also always increase the gain a little bit. This makes the picture overall lighter and brighter, and also increase the contrast a bit. Yeah, this is basically just playing around with these sliders, or not sliders, but with the numbers, and looking what looks good. This is what I basically do. Apart from that, second, I always like to use my color slicer next. The color slicer is basically all these, in this case really sliders, that we have also in Lightroom, where you can see, if you click on this small button here, you can see what part of the picture would be influenced by the sliders. Yellow and skin tones are always very prominent, I find, especially in colors like green or reddish, yellowish. Skin and yellow are always very prominent, and also pretty similar usually in the area that is affected. So you can see I just increased basically only these sliders. What this did was, if we went back to normal, we can see that, okay, so what this does is basically it gives the whole picture a little bit more oomph, because I, on the one hand, increased the saturation more, and also this density thingy. So you can see this is when it's at its base level, and going up it makes everything a little bit it changes with the shadows, I feel like. So I increased that. Then what I'm gonna do next is look at applying a basic vignette. You basically do it like, I can do this again. You basically take a circle and a mask. We draw this out. Then we reverse it with this here. Then you make everything a little bit darker, just a tiny bit. And then, to not have these strong edges here that you can see here is a rather strong edge, like that. To not have this effect, we increase the softness, and now we have a small vignette just like that. I'm gonna go with my previous version, which is, again, it's a bit stronger, but I guess it's fine. Next, I want to highlight my person in the middle here. You can see I did this with basically another circle. Again, made it soft and increased the luminosity here. So this made him a little bit brighter and draws the attention to the person. Next, what we have here is actually not important. I decided to delete that, but we have my okay. Next, what I did is to mask out basically this background. Don't mind the second mask. The second mask is useless. Basically, I masked all of this background here, just very roughly. So it's not perfect, but so you can see it's not very well done, but it's okay. And then I just increase the detail to have more detail in this mountain area. and also in the sky. I also decrease the highlights a little bit to get even more detail and to make it more interesting, and the result is that it, in my opinion, looks more interesting. Next, I just played around with some gradients. So the gradients are these kind of thingies here. Always make them soft again to not have this harsh edge, and then I just decreased the light around here just a little bit to have it darker on the other side, also here with this gradient. And this is all just to make everything darker except for my middle person, so that the focus lies on this person in the picture. Here I did nothing, so basically I can delete that, and I can also delete that. And this is how I arrived at the picture. I know it was fast and probably not well explained, but I hope it is still a little bit helpful. See ya.